The way a lot of power plants are activated into service that are more of the old oil refineries and fossil fuel plants that are less efficient, more polluting, those come online when it's absolutely necessary. And the grid has its own inefficiencies that make that requirement of the grid to kind of always have those as a backup. These peak hours are very important with sort of analyzing the difference between what is the emission of a power plant on average versus like a marginal emissions. So that basically that difference is, when are those peak hours where you are required to sort of spin up one of these old refineries to meet the demand without getting a power outage. And those are the times where you're going to have the worst emissions. Now, if you take that and average it out across a city for other power plants, say they're even natural gas that might not emit as much, if you apply that average across some of those other power plants, it might just be applicable to that old refinery that was used in those peak hours. So those types of subtle differences in analysis of emissions factors are the challenge that was given out to the machine learning competition that I participated in, and started getting more familiar with what are the current problems in this sort of data analysis. What are the problems we're still trying to solve? And while this is running, so Google's limitations on the dataset queries is not just a function of holding the data back from public use. It is a completely legitimate reason to build these limitations in how much data interaction goes between their servers and your own local machine. That makes sense. If somebody like myself is going in and asking for a terabyte of data without really knowing what I'm looking at, that's a complete waste of energy and time. Building these limits actually makes this data more available to widespread use, because you're able to support more requests and support more of an audience that is trying to access this data possibly at the same time. So it's not thinking of it in a way of holding the purse strings tight, but more of a, you should know what you're doing a little bit better.